Welcome to our module on the 4 phases of mentoring. We have developed this short module to help you tailor your approach to mentoring according to the phase of the mentoring life cycle in which you find yourself. As you're aware, mentoring isn't a one-size-fits-all discipline. As you build a partnership with your mentee and establish trust, we encourage you to explore UNICEF together and eventually play more of a challenge function with your mentee. This module will give you ideas and recommendations for how to successfully grow your relationship with your mentee to ensure that you are capable of being a catalyst for your mentee and for UNICEF. Here are the 4 phases of mentoring that you will experience over the course of your relationship with your mentee. The first phase will focus on forming a partnership and building trust with your mentee. As you establish a comfortable working relationship together, you will be able to explore UNICEF together, develop an approach to mentoring, and share personal experiences. Eventually, you will be able to play more of a challenge function, helping your mentee grow, adapt, and thrive within UNICEF. And finally, your mentoring relationship will come to a close, and you and your mentee will have an opportunity to reflect on the experience. Each mentoring relationship is unique, and it is up to you to decide how quickly you want to transition from one phase into the next. What phase of the mentoring life cycle are you in? Click on the phase that's most relevant to you so that you can tailor your mentoring approach as your relationship with your mentee evolves in the coming weeks and months. As you begin to establish a relationship with your mentee, the goal is to build trust and form a working partnership together. We have had many conversations with mentors and mentees over the past few years, and the feedback we receive is that mentees are often nervous during the first few sessions. They're not sure where to start or what to say. In the first few conversations with your mentee, take the opportunity to give him or her a description of your career experience, your work at UNICEF, and your thoughts on the mentoring relationship. Talk about mentors who have had an impact on you and how they have helped you. Encourage your mentee to do the same so that you initiate an easy dialogue and an open and honest way of communicating. Be an active listener and demonstrate a true interest in your mentee. We are relying on you to help your mentee feel comfortable during the first few sessions. Some of the pressure or nervousness that they are feeling will help you to build trust and accelerate the partnership. As you start to develop a comfortable relationship with each other, one of the easiest ways to build trust is by being predictable and consistent. If you schedule an appointment to meet your mentee at a certain time, it's important to keep it. We all know that life at UNICEF is busy, and at times things come up and appointments cannot be kept. However, in order to speed up the trust-building process, consistency is key, even if your mentee is not as consistent as you are. Establishing confidentiality is also an important building block for trust. Let your mentee know that whatever he or she wants to share with you will remain confidential. Don't forget to remind your mentee that confidentiality goes both ways. You want to be sure that as you share your experiences, your mentee respects your privacy and upholds his or her end of the confidentiality bargain. The first phase of the mentoring life cycle should also include space for setting goals and identifying the areas in which your mentee feels he or she will need advice. It is the mentee's responsibility to develop a mentoring plan with your guidance. This document should outline 1 to 3 mentoring objectives that form the focus of the areas in which you will provide advice and guidance to your mentee about working at UNICEF. Here is a reminder of 7 potential areas of advice that you can review with your mentee to decide which ones are the best fit between your expertise and their needs. Develop a better understanding of organizational priorities, policies, and recent developments. Identify the most relevant information or documentation from sources inside and outside UNICEF. Increase awareness and integration of cross-cutting issues to programming or operations work. Obtain a broader perspective on the challenges facing the organization, region, and/or country office. Gain insight into the culture and informal communication lines of the organization, how it is really done. Understand the organizational rationale behind the business processes, for example contracting or approval flows, to avoid misuse of resources and help the flow between process and results. Learn how UNICEF works in partnership with other UN agencies and key stakeholders. Once 1 to 3 areas have been chosen, your mentee will identify what is already known and what is yet to be learned in each area. The mentee should be able to articulate how each particular area of advice is relevant to his or her work and can discuss with you how you can provide assistance. Concrete ideas on the steps which will be taken to achieve the mentoring objective should be included, as well as an associated time frame and indicators. Once trust has been built and a partnership has been formed, the relationship moves into phase 2. During this phase, the mentor and mentee can begin to start working toward the objectives which were set during phase 1. As a mentor, the challenge you will face during this phase is to offer advice and guidance about working at UNICEF in a way that builds a dialogue between you and your mentee. A common criticism of mentoring relationships in phase 2 is that the dialogue can turn into a monologue, typically with the mentee asking questions and the mentor supplying answers. While we want our mentees to soak up as much information and expertise from you as possible, we encourage you to be sensitive to the conversation dynamics that begin to form within your mentoring relationship. As a mentor, this is your opportunity to practice and fine-tune your ability to listen actively and ask helpful questions. Active listening involves hearing and understanding verbal and non-verbal cues. You should also bring an awareness of your mentee's professional background, culture, gender, and life experiences as you move through various conversations. When you respond to questions posed by your mentee, try to resist the temptation to always provide an answer. Instead, pose questions that will encourage your mentee to respond with more than yes or no answers. In this phase, you may find the use of investigative questions helpful. They will help you explore the facts to more fully understand the questions which your mentee will pose. Here are some examples of investigative questions. Investigative questions will help you provide advice and guidance to your mentee while also establishing a dialogue between the two of you. In phase 3 of the mentoring life cycle, you can help your mentee experience new perspectives and begin taking responsibility for his or her own growth and development. As you continue to share information that helps the mentee better understand UNICEF, take the opportunity to discuss what's working and ways to improve how you work together. If it appears that the actions of your mentee could lead to negative consequences professionally, explore how he or she may change attitudes or behavior to make course correction. As your relationship with your mentee grows, please take the time to provide him or her with positive and constructive feedback. This will help your mentee adapt and thrive at UNICEF. During this phase, you may want to add discovery and empowering questions to your mentoring. Discovery questions are designed to stimulate thinking and learning. Here are some examples. Empowering questions take things one step further and will encourage your mentee to take ownership and accountability. Here are some examples. At this stage of the relationship, you may find these types of questions will help your mentee think through the issues, and it will help you better understand your mentee's thoughts and approaches to problem solving. Each mentor working with the New and Emerging Talent Initiative and the Junior Professional Officer Program will be faced with the inevitable question posed by their mentees towards the end of their program participation. How do I secure a new post at UNICEF? A separate module has been designed to give you a series of tips and tools to incorporate into your discussions with your mentee when the topic of career advice is raised. Mentors and mentees are strongly encouraged to bring their formal relationship to a close at the conclusion of the 2-year time period. We encourage you to take time with your mentee to celebrate the growth which has been experienced, review lessons learned, and reinforce positive actions taken. The closure of the mentoring relationship will allow you to take personal time to reflect on the mentoring experience and what you have learned. While we assume that all of our mentors will bring their formal mentoring relationships to a close at the conclusion of their mentees' participation in the development program, we encourage you to continue to promote a culture of mentoring across UNICEF and to actively be a mentor and seek out a mentor in the coming months.